Hello, today I'm joined by my guest Paul Gander from Stitch AI. Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, morning. Thanks, David. Very well.
Nice to have you with us. Now, today we've promised we're not going to talk about how wonderful Stitch AI are and
Not
how
at all.
they are helping agents to communicate really effectively and convert leads and all the other wonderful things that they do. Not talking about it, strangely. But I do want to talk about something that is the big digital elephant in our lives. We don't realize how pervasive it is. But when we talk about big technology companies globally, you may go and talk about Google. You might talk about what's going on in the world of AI. But Meta is a behemoth when it comes to how it spans both social media, but also the tools that we're using daily to communicate. And I feel, as I know that you do as well, agents are only just scratching the surface with what it can do. We don't have a full understanding of where it's headed, but there are some very exciting changes afoot.
Absolutely, David. I mean, so Meta launched their WhatsApp business platform, which is an API, a good 7 or 8 years ago. That's when we first started dabbling in it and began to understand it. And I think there's so much that they're doing, and they're not really telling the world about it yet. And there are various reasons why they're not. And the main reason is that I think they're still trying to kind of work out their strategy, and they're slowly rolling out these features in their platform to enable developers. And clearly, in the space of WhatsApp, there's a lot more people in the market involved in WhatsApp than there were when we first joined it. What, 2020, 2019? I suppose we started getting involved in it. So there's
Yeah.
definitely more people getting involved, and they're solving or they're delivering particular specific customer journeys in the world of WhatsApp using that WhatsApp business platform. But I think there's so much more that Meta. I mean, I'll give you one example. Later this year, Groups is coming, and Groups is going to be huge. It's one of the big things that is sort of anyone transitioning to the WhatsApp API sees a bit of a barrier. So Meta are addressing that there. But I suppose it's this centralization, and with Meta at the core, and of course there's all these customer journeys, be they inbound or outbound. And there is when you sort of get involved in what they're trying to achieve, it's this centralization of bringing a business or a brand or a team at the core, and then having all these different customer journeys in and out. So yeah, there's a lot more things on the horizon, which clearly we can sort of go into. But I just don't think there's any understanding from an agent's perspective as to what Meta are doing. I don't think they kind of, hey, the negs are using WhatsApp on the phone, tick the box. Why have I got to pay for it? Or what? And I don't think there's this understanding of the bigger picture.
And do you think that's because, I mean, just on an awareness piece, we're not clear on, Meta aren't, they do obviously release their updates, but maybe we as agents aren't paying attention in the right spaces? Or are they not very good at getting that message out there?
Well, the message they're putting out there is not really aimed at specific end users. I mean,
Yeah,
so the WhatsApp API is a tool for developers. Okay, so companies such as ourselves, we see what the WhatsApp API is, and we try and mold it into a particular vertical market, and then a solution is sold to that vertical market. And as you know, we don't work with just agents; we work with recruiters, automotive brands, clearly all consumer facing. But I don't. Meta aren't. They're not addressing, and they're not shouting out to agents. And I suppose the difficulty is for companies in our space providing services to the agents, and I'm sure obviously other people who are involved in a similar space to us selling to agencies. You kind of put an email subject, WhatsApp, and a lot of people we already use it, and they kind of dismiss it. And they're
yeah.
like, why would I want to talk to you about WhatsApp? Because we're already using it. But of course, the education pieces is not really what we're putting behind it. We're trying to sort of say, look, Meta are doing these amazing things. You need to understand this. We'll tell you what they are. And if that applies in your world, great, talk to us. But you need to understand what they're doing first.
Well, let's talk about just some of the things that are coming up
Mm.
because we talk about obviously using WhatsApp for communication, but we're only scraping the surface. If you're just using it to very basic communication, and as you say, if we were to look at communication as a pie chart, most of us are only using one slice of the pie chart.
Yeah.
We are not integrating it for sales progression. We're not using it to the best of its ability when it comes to marketing as well, because there is a sense that WhatsApp done correctly, and certainly where it's heading, could even replace your email marketing newsletter that you send out, because the customer focus and the engagement rate and the open rate on WhatsApp is
Yep.
compared to where
It's
email is.
I'll give you some interesting numbers that we see. So we auto respond to portal leads for our customers, and of all the leads that come in from to an agent, of the ones that have a mobile number, circa 90% get delivered. So we can see 90% of the population out there buying and renting houses have got WhatsApp. The response rate to that tends to be 80% within 2 or 3 minutes. So, of course, there are other applications out in the marketplace focusing on that particular journey. But of course, the life cycle or the engagement with a vendor or a tenant or a landlord goes way beyond just the applicant phase. So, of course, we then think about a great scenario is I call my wife, she doesn't answer the phone. Well, I don't leave her a voicemail. I don't email her. I WhatsApp her. So, of course, at a branch level, if staff are using, I suppose, if they're lucky enough to have a work mobile phone, they're able to then do that. But let's just think about some other things that are coming on stream later this year. We got an email from Meta only a couple of days ago. So what they're doing in beta this year, it's expected to go live 2027. But you will be able to bid to send WhatsApp messages out cold to people, even if you haven't got their mobile number. So when
That's
you're going to start,
phenomenal.
yeah, absolutely. Obviously, there's a lot of marketers in the space. Obviously, Paul Long and there's many others out there who are managing those social accounts for those agents. And what they're going to be able to do is send a WhatsApp message. But if we think about it, right, this is where you've got to try and look beyond just sending a message. We say, okay, I can go into Meta Business Suite, I can create my template, put my media on it, and I can send out a WhatsApp message to someone who has shown interest of looking to sell their house in Solihull or wherever it is, right? Now, a marketeer can send that WhatsApp message, but what happens when the customer replies? Because if you don't have a centralized inbox to be able to manage that chat coming back, the lead, all right, you might better point them to your website, but you're then putting barriers to the customer. So yeah, there you go. I've received a WhatsApp message that's very timely, that's going to get read. Right, it's going to come up at the point of inquiry where it's interesting. Now we know that works well because we've already been doing it with Rightmove. You're looking to buy a house, brilliant. I've got a WhatsApp message. I'm going to engage there. What I'm not going to do is be sent a WhatsApp message to then click a link to go and fill in a form on a website. So we've already proven this concept and the same with valuation inquiries, right? Someone's done an online vow, instantly responds with a WhatsApp. And then, of course, if they're interested at that point, you engage them far faster. So if we're going to have that concept of bidding on keywords to reach out to people in particular areas, and by the way, the stats, I was at a seminar a couple of months ago with Meta talking about this exact program. And the testing they're doing, the ROI is off the scale. The cost to actually acquire a customer is way cheaper in WhatsApp than running impressions of ads out on social media. So we're already seeing from early results in different regions around the world how it's working. So, of course, message goes out, response comes back into the team inbox, which is connected with chats from existing portal lead inquiries, website inquiries, staff reaching out, chasing viewing. It's going to come back to this same place. And if you don't have that cohesive branch environment where the WhatsApp chats are going to be able to be responded to in a team, because if you've got individual versions of WhatsApp, you can't manage that.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And I suppose going on experience of what we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years, a lot of customers don't want to go using our inbox or my competitors, right? Staff want to keep using what's familiar to them. They hate change. So a member of staff is using WhatsApp. They don't want to make the transition to the full-blown use another application. But there's nothing. Meta have released another product, just gone, 4 or 5 weeks ago, they've launched it in the UK. It's called Coexistence. And I think it's a bit of a game changer because what it means is staff can continue to use their WhatsApp as they do right now. They don't have to go using our platform or our competitor's platform. They just use their normal WhatsApp, and it syncs into the CRM.
Wow.
And Meta have launched it because there's a lot of hacks out there. There are products in the market, in various vertical markets, including this one, where you're using a QR code to connect a phone to a web browser, and then it's scraping chats to put it into the CRM. Now, read Meta's terms and conditions. They make that of what you will. But if Meta don't make money out of it, I don't think they're going to be too. I mean, you can read the T's and C's on WhatsApp Business. So Meta have released Coexistence to address, I'll use the term hack very loosely, but a way of bypassing Meta to be able to automate a chat coming from a phone and put it into the CRM. So Meta have launched coexistence. It's a nailed on way where the phone still gets used by the customer. Oh, but by the negative valuer, they don't want to go and use some other software. They just want to carry on using WhatsApp Business, but it's hard connected back into our world, into the WhatsApp API, and we can then move it into the CRM. And that's doing it compliantly. And of course, you haven't got to rely on the member of staff pressing a sync button or disconnecting an error. So for me, I think this whole ads ecosystem coming next year, coexistence has just come out. And of course, this year, groups. I mean, it's already been released. We're developing it now. So
It's
there's some,
it's huge in the sense that this is almost as when we all did we dabbled in Facebook marketing at first, then we realized, hang on, we need experts, people like Paul Long out there to sort of hold our hand and show us how to.
absolutely.
I remember spending hours with Paul building lookalike audiences, and Paul would tell me why, no, don't just go and shove 100 quid on this, spend a
Yeah.
fiver and get, all those little tricks. There's a sense that this is as big, isn't it? The opportunity here for agents in particular.
Yeah, I think it's when I first heard of this, as I said a couple of months ago, it was like this is the not say the golden ticket to try and get more interest from agents because, but if you can automate and get the skill sets of people like Paul, I'm sure there are others out there. Paul just comes to mind because I was with him a couple of months ago. But you're right. The Facebook ads ecosystem is complicated. I mean, my son's 17, right? It just because I'm buying a car doesn't mean you can drive it. He needs lessons.
Yeah,
You can't. And this whole again in the world of Meta, and Meta owns so many products. There's the ads ecosystem. There's the WhatsApp ecosystem. There's the Instagram. Yeah, most agents aren't going to understand all of this. So we have our speciality in understanding the WhatsApp component, how that will then link into the ads component. But and then it's the full picture of message gets sent out to prospect who's highly engaged because all the metrics and the pixels are picking up when they're showing interest in a particular thing. And of course, yes, you can deliver that message, but of course, how's the agent going to deal with that one coming back? So there's a lot of complexities here, which is why when people say, oh, my team are already using WhatsApp on their phone, they're dismissing it before they even begin to understand the potential of what's behind it. And more importantly, it's not about what we're doing in Stitch. It's what Meta are doing globally. So yeah, I suppose I'm very passionate about it, David, as you
yeah,
can
I
see.
can see you're very passionate about it, and we are just scratching the surface today. And like we say, this wasn't meant to be a very long webinar in any event. It was meant to be a sort of an introduction almost to these changes. It wasn't necessary to crow about Stitch AI, although they are rather good. They get some great feedback. However, I feel like that this is something that agents cannot afford to ignore, and it warrants perhaps a more thorough look at this. But again, it's fast evolving, isn't it? So you're still learning about it. We're still learning about it. There's a sense that Meta haven't decided quite what the final version of it's going to be. So what's your advice to us in the interim, Paul? What should we be doing as agents that are leaning into this
I
conversation?
I think I mean, like anyone can sort of book in and talk to us and we can kind of understand what they're wanting to achieve because we on our own can't do everything. We can do a small component of it. And what does the agent want? Are they wanting to keep staff just using WhatsApp as they do, but throw those messages into CRM? Do they want to automate journeys? Do they want to connect it to their phones? There's so many touch points, and it's all about when is the business ready for a change? Because you can't do these things thinking it's not going to take time and pain. You know, there is a transition, and I think the question in answer to what you just said there, David, is what experience do you want to give to your consumer? Because there is going to be pain to change internally to adopt to that. And there's a sliding scale. It's not one. The good thing with coexistence is you haven't got to go the full hog now. So, and then with these ads, again, working with your marketeers, do you want to start trying to reach new people in new ways? So I think it's speak to the professionals in the sector. And we're always on hand to have a discussion, strategizing and planning for the future. Because as I said, these things don't happen overnight.
It's fascinating. I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like WhatsApp is the world's favorite messaging platform in terms of also the age of the users. It's tremendous, and that's always what we used to love about Facebook as well. Say what you like about TikTok and this one and that one, LinkedIn, but Facebook had traditionally a very broad range audience. You had very young people using perhaps Instagram as its kind of first cousin there, but also LinkedIn to Facebook. And then you had older users, so people sort of in the middle ground. I'm gonna shove myself in that category. And then you had even more mature users. So people like my mum and dad's age are there checking out photos of the grandchildren or whatever it
Yep.
may be. And there's a certain rudimentary understanding of all of this for all of those age groups. WhatsApp is the same. We know it's very good for swapping messages, photos, memes, silly little videos, voice notes that annoy everybody, all of those fun things that it does. We have family groups, we have business groups, we have all there's all sorts of stuff going on that phone, and there's a hive of activity. And we'd be naive to think that Meta were interested in acquiring that platform just to let me message
$19 billion they paid for it.
19
Like
billion.
what, 10 years ago?
It's a lot of billions and a lot of dollars and a lot of money invested since that initial purchase. When you think about it, there has to be an end game. And the end game is we've got attention. We know you guys are loving it and using it. How can we monetize this? And
Yeah.
effectively, that might annoy you personally, but actually, as a business, it has massive utility, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if we could take some different verticals, we've got a recruitment client of ours who's sending nearly 100,000 templates a month. That costs them a fortune,
Yeah.
but to them it's self-fulfilling because there's no point in going in paying your team to go sending out communications that never gets read. And if you can be sure that 98% of the time that you send that message, it's going to get read, it doesn't matter what that, which is what I always say. We're very, yes, we work with agents, we work with other, but it's the same thing. The business is reaching a consumer, and there is a need, and there's different types of journeys, as we both know. Even if we just took a sales applicant, a lettings applicant, we're trying to streamline it to spend less human time on it, and a sales applicant, we want to create a better customer journey to win that chance of an opportunity of potential valuation. So they're all very, very different, but the end result is Meta want to monetize it because they know that audience, for all the reasons you said there across the age ranges, that's where they live, and that's the hub of their comms.
Well, Paul, you're going to be relieved to know that I'm going to let you get on with your day today. But I can smell coming down the line a perhaps a more interactive, perhaps even live webinar where there's an opportunity for agents to ask questions that they may have, because I
Mm,
feel like this is something that we're definitely going to want to learn more about. You guys are obviously at the cutting edge of it there and learning as quickly as you possibly can. But thank you very much for sort of putting this on our radar. I think it's
mm.
immensely important. Don't live under a rock and don't claim you didn't know about it because you heard it here first, folks. So thank you very much, Paul. Thanks for your time.
Lovely. Thanks, David.